All right, I want to do a little review or look at the WASR-10. Specifically, this is a WASR-10 V2. This is the newest one that they have in production. How you can tell if it's a V2 or an earlier one is the gas block right here. This one's based off of a East German gas block, so it kind of looks a little different than a standard one. But these at the moment, they're going for around $800. You can find them for cheaper, of course, but $800, $750 around that area is normal price for them. If you're trying to distinguish whether or not an AK you're looking at is a WASR or maybe a SAR or any other AKM style, WASRs specifically have they don't have a dimple on them. It's what you would call a slab side receiver, and you're always going to see a marking similar to this, which is Romarm Cougar, made in Romania. And these are made, like it says, these are made in Romania by Cougar, which is a military arsenal, and it is imported by Century Arms International. It is not made by Century, it is imported by them from Romania. Showing you the markings. This one just says WASR-10 on it. There's also the WASR-10 63s, which are made from MD63 parts as well as new production ones. And then there are the older WASRs with the standard 45-degree gas block. This rifle has about 1,200 rounds through it. I've not had a malfunction or any problem. Everything I've ran through it has been steel cased, tool ammo, wolf, that kind of stuff. I just want to point out, on these rifles, they do not have bayonet lugs on them. You can see the spot where it kind of was beforehand, that got ground off. So as you can kind of see right here, it is smooth all the way down, so you're not going to be able to reliably put a bayonet on here. Something else you should take note of when you're looking at any AKs really, but this is a issue usually you're going to see with WASRs. You're going to want to check if the gas block or front sight is canted. My gas block is a little bit canted. My front sight is a couple degrees off, but as you can kind of see, it doesn't line up perfectly. It's a little bit crooked, but I haven't had any issues with function. It's not under gas, not over gas, works perfectly fine. So that is just cosmetic, at least with this rifle. The WASR-10 V2 specifically, they get sold with this black Century polymer furniture. It looks pretty bad. So once you get it, you're probably going to want to invest in some Romanian furniture, such as I have here. This is an MD63 set. These are Romanian rifles, so if you want to get some nice wood furniture on it, you can't go wrong with some Romanian wood furniture. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. That way we can take a look at the wear, the inside, and talk about a couple more things. All right, so we got the rifle taken apart. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inside of the receiver. Trunnion looks fine, no real deformities. Rails perfectly fine. Trigger group is fine. So trigger group looks perfectly fine. Nothing really sticks out. One thing I should mention: these rifles come with a they come with a shepherd's hook that holds in the trigger group and hammer. This one's been replaced by a retaining plate. Those shepherd's hooks are just small pieces of like spring metal. They're not very strong. They have been known to break, and it's best to replace that with like a $5 retainer plate after you get the rifle. Just a little upgrade that you can do right away for cheap, which is definitely going to be a good idea. So, gas tube, nothing special, standard, pretty dirty, but nothing wrong with the gas tube, perfectly fine. Bolt, try to get, yeah. So, obviously you can see this rifle's had some rounds through it. You can see the finish on the bolt kind of starting to come off a little bit. Looks pretty good for 1,200 rounds. Not really a lot of wear on it, in my opinion. Pretty formal wear. Bolt carrier. Piston is a little bit dirty from shooting. It does wobble just a little bit. Not really an issue, just want to bring that up. Inside, machining looks fine. I've seen better, but the machining work on there is not bad. This rifle is a little bit grittier than other AKs, but tail, perfectly fine. Anyways, recoil spring, fine, nothing really to show. Same with the dust cover, standard AKM dust cover, nothing special. I want to put the rifle back together, and then we're going to go over a couple more things that you should probably know about getting a WASR-10 or Romanian AK in general. Something I want to mention is if you're buying these rifles used, just make sure that they haven't been tinkered with or they're beaten up. And if they have been, you know, adjust price. People tend to leave these rifles just laying around. They get rust, they get pitting inside. This finish is not that good. It's just a parkerized finish. I have had this rifle rust on me after taking it shooting and leaving it out in my vehicle for a few days. I came back to take it out and there's surface rust all over the receiver, some on the barrel, mainly where your hands would probably be on. But it's not a very tough finish. These are pretty solid rifles. If you can find them for $700 or less, they're a good buy. These used to go for around 600 new a few years back, so prices are kind of going back down on them, which is good. But for a starter rifle, these are definitely a good choice. Not too expensive, they work. They've been shown to go through tens of thousands of rounds without major malfunctions. So overall, good rifle for the price. Very solid. I've only had 1,200 rounds through this one, but it's done good. So that's really all I want to talk about. Thanks for watching and happy shooting.